Welcome at GL Online. Today we'll be covering the basics of how to write a great rock guitar riff. Well, initially I'll just go over some of the elements that are in some of the most classic riffs that you'll remember. Of course, there's the power chord, pretty much a staple of any rock guitar song anyway. On top of that, you've also got sliding octave chords, which will be featured in more of your modern rock bands. You meet at 6, All Time Low, such bands like that, Alter Bridge. Another technique, it's not so much a technique, it's more just a tuning itself, is just dropped tuning open chords. It's the same as a power chord, but you don't have to fret anything in drop D, so it's just like you'll have your root, have your fifth, and your octave, and that's just used to add an extra bit of grunt, and it's much easier to play the chord as well, considering when you're fretting them you only need to use just one finger. Another feature of a guitar riff that goes hand in hand with these open tuning chords is palm muting, because you can just get so much control out of just lightly dampening the strings with your hand, like this. You can incorporate all these techniques together all in one riff, or you can just use various different ones coupled together to get some nice effects. There's one more technique that I want to show you, and it's just a descending run on the wound strings. If I was constructing a riff, personally I would rather use the wound strings instead of the plain strings, the round strings, because it creates it's more of a rhythm sound to it. Even when you're putting on a slight bend on the bottom string, instead of, say, using the higher up strings, where it just sounds like you're beginning to guitar solo. So using the wound strings, power chords, sliding octave chords, generally ascending, you occasionally find it going back down. But more often than not it's going up with an occasional change in between. Open chords, and palm muting. I've thrown together a riff with just a few of those elements inside it. Here's what it sounds like. When constructing a riff, especially if you're deciding to throw in some of these elements, one thing you need to concentrate on is that everything you put in it complements the riff and the song in its own right. It's sort of akin to if you're playing in a nice bluesy style, you're not going to have a guitar solo that's just see how many notes you can fit into it, because it's inappropriate and it doesn't suit the style of the song. It's the same when you're building a riff. You shouldn't just chuck extra notes in just for the sake of it. The best thing to do when you're constructing a riff is just go with what the song needs, and most importantly, trust your ears. Rather than just saying, oh, I'm going to throw in this technique for the sake of it, trust yourself and what you're hearing. If you hear something before you play it, that's even better, because it's the best thing for you to do is just have an idea of what you want to play and then just use your guitar to try and figure out how you're going to get that sound. hopefully this video's helped you get some more ideas for when you're writing your riffs and a wee bit more inspiration and ideas of what to put in them. But that's it from us this week. Check in next week for more guitar lessons from GL Online.